You are watching Terra Brief, where every minute matters.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to understand what is happening in Iran, why Iran is in the news, and most importantly, how the current unrest started and escalated step by step. This is not a sudden event. What we are seeing today is the result of years of economic pressure, political dissatisfaction, and public frustration. By the end of this video, you will clearly understand the root causes, the exact trigger, and why this unrest is considered one of the most serious crises Iran has faced in decades. So let's begin. To understand today's protests, we must first look at the long-term background. Iran has been facing severe economic problems for years. Inflation has remained between 40% and 50% in recent years. Youth unemployment is estimated at over 20%. The Iranian currency, the rial, has lost more than 90% of its value since 2018. This means salaries stayed almost the same, but prices of food, fuel, rent, and medicine exploded. For ordinary Iranians, life became financially unbearable. This is not Iran's first protest wave. Before 2025, Iran experienced major protests in 2017-18, 2019, 2022. In the 2019 protests alone, human rights group estimated over 300 people killed in just a few days. Each time, protests were crushed, internet was shut down, but core problems were never solved. So anger did not disappear, it accumulated. Now let's come to the immediate trigger. In December 2025, food prices jumped again. Fuel and transport costs rose. Many families could no longer afford basic necessities. For example, chicken and rice prices reportedly doubled in some cities. Rent in urban areas consumed over 60% of monthly income for many households. Small scattered economic protests began, mostly peaceful. Then came the turning point, the Grand Bazaar protest. Merchants in the Tehran Grand Bazaar closed their shops in protest. This is extremely important because the bazaar is Iran's economic and symbolic heart. Historically, bazaar strikes have preceded major political change. When shopkeepers shut down, protests spread rapidly. Crowds moved from markets to streets. Slogans grew louder and angrier. This is where the unrest caught fire. By early January 2026, protests were no longer local. They spread to Tehran, Isfahan, Shiraz, Mashhad, Tabriz, and many smaller towns. Different groups joined: students, workers, women, middle class families. Within weeks, protests were reported in most of Iran's 31 provinces. This scale alarmed the government. At this stage, something very important happened. The protest changed character. They started as "we can't afford to live." They turned into "we want political change." Slogans began criticizing leadership, corruption, and lack of freedoms. When economic protests become political, governments see them as an existential threat. The state responded with force. Security forces used live ammunition, carried out mass arrests, conducted night raids. According to various human rights estimates, hundreds to possibly over 1,000 people were killed. Thousands were arrested, and many protesters suffered serious injuries. Court reportedly issued fast-track sentences, including death penalties. This sharply escalated the crisis. To control the situation, authorities imposed a near total internet blackout. What this meant: social media blocked, messaging apps shut down, videos from inside Iran stopped reaching the world. Iran has used this tactic before, but this was one of the longest and most severe shutdowns. Despite this, protest did not completely stop. As violence increased, the world reacted. Human rights organizations issued condemnations. Several countries warned their citizens. Iran briefly restricted airspace amid rising tensions. The unrest became not just a domestic issue but a global diplomatic concern. So, why is this unrest more serious than before? Three reasons. First, scale. Protest across almost the entire country. Second, unity. Economic and political anger combined. And third, persistence. Despite killings, arrests, and shutdown, many analysts say this is the deepest internal crisis Iran has faced in decades. To conclude, the Iran unrest did not start overnight. It began with years of economic pain, worsened by inflation, sanctions, and corruption. It was ignited by rising prices and the Tehran Grand Bazaar strike, and it escalated into nationwide protests, violent crackdowns, and international concern. The situation remains unresolved, and its outcome will shape Iran's future. If you found this explanation helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more clear current affairs breakdown.